What's going on, guys? This is Josh here, as always, with JB Fitness, here today to compare two of the most popular methods of accommodating resistance in powerlifting: resistance bands and chains. Now, hopefully, if you're not sure, if you're kind of up in the air, which one you should get or which is better, hopefully I can narrow it down for you and help you decide. If you don't know, by definition, accommodating resistance means that the resistance increases throughout the range of motion of a movement. Now, using bench press as an example, because we are going to be using bench press throughout the demonstrations of the video, as you're coming down on a bench press, if you have like 225 pounds on the bar, as you come down on a bench press, and then as you come up on the bench press with no resistance or no additional resistance, it's 225 pounds from the bottom, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top of the movement. There's no question about that. But the weight is much easier to lift for most people at the top of the movement, the top half or top third of the movement. And that applies to squats as well, half squats and stuff like that. And that's why when you go into a gym, you'll see this really skinny guy with 315 pounds on the bar doing a bunch of little half reps, little half rep Harry, thinking he's like a beast. But, you know, and that's exactly what this helps to be able to eliminate. And it helps to make you stronger in the bottom of the movement. The way it works is bands wrap around the bar and wrap around the bottom of the rack, or chains hang from the bar and droop down and just hang there on the ground. As you lift higher and higher and higher, the resistance increases with bands because bands are pulling the weight down and chains are just getting heavier. And this helps to make it so that here it's easier and then here it's heavier, and it gradually gets heavier. You can really feel it's really significant. Now, this is really good for building speed and strength very quickly, scientifically proven to build speed and strength much faster. I'm going to demonstrate both for you, and then we'll quickly go over which is better and why. This is assuming you already kind of have an idea of what bands do and how they work and how to set it up, and chains, and then we'll talk about which is better after. Okay, guys, you can see here that I got bands wrapped around the bar on either side and then wrapped around pegs on the bottom. At the bottom of this lift, there's basically a ton of slack on the bands. At the top of the movement, you can see the band stretches. Now, there's not a lot of resistance at this time. You can improve resistance by wrapping the band more around the bar, and that's going to not only improve resistance at the top, but make the resistance kick in a lot sooner. Okay, guys, so now we have chains on the bar, and the way chains work is at the bottom of the lift, most of the chain is actually resting on the ground, and that makes the bar lighter as a result. As you press the weight up, more and more of the chain comes off the ground, and as a result, the chain and the weight gets heavier as you press higher, and the weight is heaviest at the top. So at the top of this, the weight is about 185 pounds. At the bottom of the lift, it's about 150 pounds. Now, the one thing to take note is if noise is an issue for a home gym or a personal gym that may or may not allow it, these chains are very loud. Okay, guys, we have now seen a comparison of bands and chains, and now it's time to decide which is better. And 10 times out of 10, 7 days a week, I would say that bands are better than chains. Chains are awesome. Chains are great for power, great on deadlifts and bench and squat. Really great at building power because the weight gets heavier as you go. Plus, there's nothing more badass sounding than a pair of chains smacking on the floor or whatever. Also, chains, the thing about chains is that they're very, very loud. Most gyms won't even allow you to bring them in with you. They may supply them, not many do, and if they do, that's great. They're also very expensive and heavy. Bands are great because they're affordable. You can get bands for a set of bands for like 40 bucks, and if you find it's not enough resistance, just wrap it more times around the bar and it gets heavier, and that's great. Bands are also much more versatile, so you can take bands, not only do bench, squat, and deadlift, you can use it for extra resistance on push-ups. I like to personally use bands for mobility. I take the light band around the squat rack and I'll do rotator cuff movements. You can do them for a lot of stretching and other mobility, lower body mobility as well. Bands overall are much better, and the thing about chains are all about building pure mass and pure strength. But part of powerlifting, and the biggest part of powerlifting in my opinion, is speed and acceleration under load, and that's what she said. And bands I find are the best for improving that, and they do improve strength as well. Chains are all about power and no speed, whereas bands are mostly a lot about speed and also pretty large amount about power as well. The ultimate combination, in my opinion, is a bit of chains and a bit of bands. The workout you get from it would be absolutely unreal. But that's just my opinion, not yours. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.